Hey, greetings, Victor Beatty here, pondering yet another mortgage market question. You know, with the mortgage market delivering the lowest interest rates we've seen in about the last 40 years, many Americans are now starting to focus on a couple of questions. The first, is it time to buy? Or if you already have a home loan, is it time to refinance? As I review the current state of mind of the media and the marketing experts pondering and preaching on these questions, and I review the endless sea of information that's available, I'm really distressed at the lack of consumer guidance and education being presented in the marketplace today. I'm going to stake my 26 years in the finance and real estate industry on this promise. Home ownership is not about an interest rate, the monthly payment, or a loan program. It's about a long-term financial strategy. Bear with me for a moment. Let's assume that I make you the captain of a 747 jumbo jet. Your job, flying from LA to New York. Now wouldn't you want to make sure that you had an experienced crew, that the flight plan was correct? You're going to know to the minute when you're leaving and when you're landing. Wouldn't you want to make sure that your calculation for the amount of fuel that's required is correct? And last but not least, you're going to want to make darn sure that you know what you're doing. Hey, I wouldn't get on the plane, and frankly, neither would you if you didn't. Well, you know what? Just as importantly, when most Americans make the single biggest purchasing commitment of their lives, their homes, their major concern is the price of the ticket, rate and monthly payment. There's little or no long-term planning or financial strategy involved. Unfortunately, this is a huge mistake that will eventually catch up with you. I'd like you to take a minute and introduce you to a homeowner who took time to dig a little deeper, and let her tell you what the right strategy has done for her and her family. So if you'll bear with me, I'll see you in a minute. Hey, greetings, Victor Beatty here. Today I'm with Karen Hayden. Hey, Karen.
Hey, Vic.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Karen's going to take a little bit of time today and share with us how the bank smart strategies that her and her husband have implemented have had a dramatic change on their lifestyle and life. So, Karen, tell me, when did you first get introduced to the strategies that are the bank smart strategies?
About 13 months ago, at a financial planning seminar, and these couple financial planners came up to us and provided a DVD to show us some of the strategies that would give us the opportunity to pay off our mortgage in an accelerated amount of time.
And how'd that look to you?
It looked like it was just too good to be true, so we decided not to do it, and we weren't interested at that point.
And so then what happened?
Then a trusted friend reintroduced us to the strategies, and we decided to have an analysis run on our situation. So what we did is we were in a 27-year mortgage, that's the term we had remaining, and it showed the analysis that we would have our mortgage paid off in full within 7 years, and we would save over $200,000 in interest.
Wow.
So
wow.
It was huge.
That's awesome. So you had a 30-year fixed rate mortgage.
Right.
And did this require you to refinance?
No refinance necessary, and we already had a low interest rate, so we knew we were already good on that. So this was just
shaving 20 years off your mortgage?
20 years off the mortgage.
And $200,000.
And $200,000.
Now that had to seem too good to be true.
It did, but I had a trusted friend show us this, and he was already doing the product, so we figured we might as well look into it further and see if this is really going to happen for us.
Now I need to reveal a little secret here, in that Karen Hayden is actually a really well-respected mortgage broker in the Bay Area. And you've been in the business for how many years?
20 years.
20 years. So if we take a look at arbitrage, interest cancellation, elimination of non-preferred debt and interest, mortgage acceleration, are those terms that you used every day in your business?
No, not really. I think those are bank terms that they probably kept from most people, and so this was a part of the education process.
So how did you feel when you found out about that? Did you?
We just thought it's overwhelming, that we can take advantage of our own money and be, better responsibility of our finances.
Excellent, excellent. So how long have you actually been doing it now?
For 13 months.
For 13 months.
And we went from 7 years from our initial analysis to paying our mortgage off in full in 5 years.
So the initial profile was to pay it off in 7 years.
Right.
And you and Greg are on target for 5 years.
5 years now. Even though 1 year just went by, we kind of supercharged it, because the whole concept of it is you really get to wrap your arms around all your finances. And it really helps you make better decisions on purchasing items, and so it's really working for us, and we got really excited about it. So we were able to see true costs on items that we could purchase or put it off for a later date, and so we're able to shave off even more time on it.
Wow. So I know a question that will come from me, and I know people out there are going to be asking that. So here's some people that shaved 22 years off their mortgage. You must have no life. I mean, you got to be taking everything you have and throwing it at your mortgage.
Not at all. Not at all. It didn't change our lifestyle whatsoever. Obviously, we know life's not static, and it does move in and out. And this is moving with us, and we're still able to put our kids through college and pay off our mortgage all before we turn 50.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you and Greg have owned a home before.
We did.
And could you imagine if you would have gone back and had these strategies back when you owned your first home?
Oh, my goodness. If we had the strategies back then, we wouldn't even have a mortgage now, or we would have a second home that we're already, going to be paying off.
Wow, that's great. That's really great.
It's a great tool.
Awesome. So what about, this has got to probably take some time and energy to utilize these strategies.
Not at all. It's just a few minutes every other week. I just put in what's going in and what's going out and implement that, and it does all the thinking for me.
That's awesome. That's one thing that most of us don't ever do at all, really. We don't really think about our mortgage future, our financial future, and when it's there in front of you, I kind of like to call the system a financial GPS.
Yeah.
Because you just said it a second ago, life's not static.
Yeah.
Things happen. I know you've got 2 young boys that you just sent off to college. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you had to pull out a little more cha-ching to do that.
Yeah.
So things change. So we have to have something that helps guide us through those and keeps us actually focused on our end goal, and that's being mortgage-free. Because, I may be wrong here, but I think that the American dream is to own your own home, not to owe a mortgage.
That's right. Own your own home free and clear.
Yeah.
And that way you can travel and do things that you want to do in your retirement years.
What about, is there anything we haven't covered you'd like to say or bring up before we sign out here?
Just that seeing that end date of when your mortgage will be free and clear is huge for me, because it keeps me focused on how quick I can get to that point, and that is my goal, is to be free and clear on a mortgage.
Awesome.
And when you refinance over and over and cash out and take additional funds out, you're repeating the cycle of an endless mortgage, and I don't want that cycle.
Right.
And this is going to help me get out of it.
We find most Americans are stuck in that cycle of mortgage debt,
right.
And it's just horrible. It's really horrible.
Yeah.
Listen, thanks so much, number one, for dropping in today and sharing with us. I want to tell you out there right now, if you're a young person, if you're just starting to buy a home, if you're looking to refinance, you need to understand these strategies in order to make good decisions. If you're my age, if you're one of the baby boomers out there who's getting ready to retire and you haven't yet taken a look at these strategies, you don't have any more time. You need to take a look and make sure that you're on the right track. So please come visit us, www.banksmartnow.com. We really look forward to talking to you soon. Go out and make it a great one. Hey, I'm back. Okay, so the Haydens were able to reduce the remaining 27 years on their home loan to 5 years. And in doing so, they saved over $200,000 in mortgage interest. They're doing this without refinancing and without a change to their current standard of living. Listen, they're not alone. There are a growing number of homeowners every day that incorporate BankSmart strategies into their everyday lives. I invite you to come and visit us and see what others are saying about their ability to secure their financial future. And at the same time, learn more about the BankSmart solution. I'd like to thank you for listening. We'll see you soon.